Can you give us some idea tonight of the level of the savings measures you're talking about? Because a strategically placed leak in Fairfax this week...
It's about 5%. 5% of your top line.
So 5% of the ABC?
5% of the ABC.
Over how many years are the cuts meant to be taking place?
Well, I mean, it'll average over 5 years about 5% off the top. Yeah.
And does that include the original 1%?
That's off. No,
that's 5% including the 1% in the previous budget.
That includes the 1% in the. It includes everything since the budget, including the budget. It does not include the cancellation or the termination of the, the Australian network contract. And the reason for that is that that was a contract between the Department of Foreign Affairs and the ABC, and obviously the ABC loses the revenue from that contract, but they also lose the cost because it was not, unless the ABC was making a profit out of it and cross-subsidised.
I can't do the sums in my head immediately, but Media Watch said its information was the ABC would lose $50 million a year on top of the $9 million a year announced in the budget, some total of $59 million a year.
I've been as usual, I've been very open with you, Tony, but I'll have a lot more to say about it later in the week. But
when you say 5%, I mean, you can do the figuring about what is it?
I'm talking about 5% on, I say around 5%. It's actually, depending on whether you include implementation costs or not, it's a little bit less than 5%. Yeah, I mean, look, the ABC has a budget. It gets from the government around $1.1 billion a year, about 20% of which is for transmission costs and the rest is for everything else. Now, anyone here who is in business, has been in business, particularly as anyone has been in the media business, Sarah, in the private sector, that could not manage to find 5% out of efficiencies is not even trying.